SKIDOO 2021 MXZX 850 Etec. Removing the starter Bendix. First you have to take off the hood, all the plastics, and then the muffler itself, which you can watch other videos and it'll show you how to do that. Then one other video I could find which was very helpful, shows you to get to the flywheel here. You have first the plastic cover that has 4 screws, and you can get to those easy enough. The ones on the left side have holes to pass your tool through, and the ones on the right side you can either see or feel, get to, and those come off. Then you have your shroud that goes around your flywheel, plastic shroud, and there's 6 screws for that. 3 on the right, 3 on the left, and then you have also the position sensor on the left hand side that you need to take the 2 screws holding that on off, so that you can move it a little bit away from the flywheel. That way you'll be able to get your flywheel out. I will attempt to show you inside here. You can see right there in the upper left is the position sensor, and there are 2 screws holding that in, and you have to move it a little bit away from your flywheel so that you can pull your flywheel off. And that is on the plastic shroud. So you can see there's 1 screw just above that center holding the shroud. Yeah, sorry about that. You can see here one of the pass-through holes, and to get that plastic cover off. And like I said, the position sensor is right up in there. There's 2 screws holding that, and then you can move that a little bit and you'll be able to move your shroud, hopefully get the flywheel out, and then be able to move your shroud so you can get to the starter Bendix, which is behind here. Once I get everything off, you'll be able to see it better maybe. You can see up above. You see the starter itself, and then the Bendix, of course. The bolt holding the flywheel is 32 millimeter, or the 1 1/4 SAE will fit as well, I believe, according to somebody else that made a video. The only one I could find, but was very helpful. Now we got the nut off for the bolt off for the flywheel. Again, it's 32 millimeter, and I was able to use my air impact gun to take it off without holding the clutch on the other side. So that worked out good. Otherwise you need a clutch holder or something to hold the clutch. I've seen some people said they use a belt or a strap or something to hold it. Anyhow, I was able to get that off. You can see, and now I'm going to attempt to pull my flywheel, and you need a special tool for that, which I found on different websites, and actually ordered one but it's been on back order for like 3 months, and every place I could find was out of stock for whatever reasons. And but this is the puller, and you're going to need that. It comes, actually, I guess 3 pieces. This here, which goes in to your flywheel like this here, and then you can see there's, I don't know if you can see, there's some threads there that it threads into. Right here, that threads into your flywheel, and then you turn the bolt on top here to push this piece and move your flywheel out. So we'll give that a try. You see, I just wedged a piece of wood, enough to do the flywheel puller. And you can see, hopefully, right here, the positioning sensor. Well, and now my zoom got turned on. You see the positioning sensor, which is mounted onto that plastic housing, which you're able to move now. You can pull it towards you out of the way, hopefully to get the flywheel out. And now that the flywheel is off, you can hopefully see this Bendix right there. And looks like the one end goes into this little nipple or joint or whatever you want to call it. Right there. And the other end, of course, goes in towards your starter. We'll see if we can get it out. So we pulled the old Bendix out, and now we're putting the new one back in. Just wanted to show you. You got to be careful. You got to pull that plastic housing kind of out and as much as you can to the side. Of course, you got a coolant hose in your way too, and there's not a lot of room. You're gonna have to wiggle it around, but you can work it out. Just be careful of your, I don't know, that's a stator or what it is, the all the electrical windings, because you come pretty close to that. But anyhow, so far so good. Time to put the flywheel back on, and you want to make sure you got your slot for your key lined up with your key there. And like I said earlier, seems to line up with that QR code. And I noticed also, I don't know if you can see it here, there's like a green mark on mine which seems to line up with it. I was going to put one on, but it seems like there's already one there, and kind of lines up right there. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, after a couple of attempts, I got the flywheel back on. It's a little bit hard trying to get the key lined up, and not sure if you can see it here, but I used a little mirror and I tried to mark it inside so that once I got it on I could see if it was lined up or not, and I used a little mirror to look up to see, make sure it was in the channel. And so a little trial and error, and it's hard because those magnets just suck it right in. And like Bob said, if you use the puller as your handle, it's definitely a lot easier, a lot better. So what I did here is just screw the puller back in and just use that as a handle to be able to grab onto. But after a couple attempts, finally got it back on. This little tool helped me get these screws back in, especially the ones you can't see, to put that shroud back on. I use this little magnet, little extension magnet there. Put it on the tip. That way I was able to get it up in there, at least get it started, so it wouldn't fall and get lost and all that good stuff. So if you got one of these, might come in handy. Okay, get the shroud back on, the sensor back on, everything tightened up. Use a little Loctite, and looks good. Ready for the plastic cover here to go back on. Yep. And these tools are your friend. This little magnet. Get those screws in and out without losing them. This little mirror, so I could see what I was doing. Helped me with lining up the key on the flywheel, putting it back in. And I used a little 1/4 inch with some extensions with the T27 and T20, I think, for the different size screws. And hopefully everything's good. Put the cover back on and then button it back up with the exhaust and hood and all that stuff. Alright, well, hopefully this helps somebody. And hopefully it works. We'll test it later.